So thank you everyone for coming in so early. I will hide all the cameras or I'll see myself. I'm very shy. Okay, awesome. Yep. So say hi in the chat. If everyone can hear me, let me know. Cause I think should be fine lah. Cause Nelly was chatting with me already. So sound should be fine. If it's not fine, let me know as well. So I have a group chat open on the left, and then I have my slides here. If you have any questions, you can put in a group chat. I will come to them later. So let's get started because I don't like waiting for stuff. So today we are covering something quite unique in the birth chart. It's called Chiron. So if you haven't done it yet, you can go to Astro Style for the calculator. I will paste it in the chat so that it's so that you guys don't have to type in. Yep. So the Chiron, so we're covering Chiron today. Chiron is yeah, so we'll learn more about it as we go along. So today's talk actually is called Turning Weakness into Career Strength with Astrology. And a bit of housekeeping is that this training will be recorded and will be available for sale later, so you guys get it free now. If you do not wish to be identified in the recording, you can change your display name, don't show your video. And if you have any questions, you can type it in capital letters in the chat so that later I can get it at an appropriate time. And the reason for changing the display name is that maybe when I'm reading out the question, I might say your name out loud, and then if you're very shy about it, you can just change it to something fun, like anything you like. And then of course, there's no actual personal birth chart reading for this session, but then we'll be talking a lot about the birth chart as well. So before we jump in, let me know in the chat which one are you. Are you A, you kind of like want to know astrology for fun, or B, you want to know more astrology for your career? Because I did put this out as turning weakness into career strength, but let me know in the chat. Yeah, because personally for me, it's like I'm both lah. Okay, so we have Darylyn here. We have B for career, and then we have more B's, BBB's. Oh, awesome. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay. So hello everybody. Oh, sign up by mistake. Okay. Then you don't have to come. You can go. The other.
Oh, nothing is left up to coincidences.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So awesome. So hello everybody, I'm YQ. So usually I teach tarot and then I also do a bit of astrology. My astrology study is focused on psychological astrology. So it's less about fortune telling, but more about like how you are made up of as a person using your birth chart to interpret that. So my absolute favorite type of consultation is career profiling, because in that session it's kind of short and sweet, and I get to talk about my clients' weaknesses and strengths. And then a lot of time what happens is that sometimes you have this strength within you that you didn't really know, that you just felt like, you know what, it's something that everyone can do, but turns out it's you. So I love that. And then of course I'm on Instagram. I'm tarotsingapore.online. The name is damn long, but all right. So what you'll learn today is turning weakness into career strength with astrology. So we're going to identify this weakness in the birth chart. I use weakness with like air quotes because it doesn't have to be a weakness. And then how this weakness play out for different types of people, and how we can use this to transform them into career strength in the career. So the link is there. If anyone doesn't have the link, you can put in the chat, and then I'll just copy and paste again. So astrostyle.com/chiron-calculator. But wait, I know, so I don't know like how many of you guys actually know Western astrology. So I'll just like give a rundown first. What is Western astrology? So is it the monthly horoscope in the magazine? You know those magazines, or even like daily papers that every day you open it up and then you go and see your sign. Is it that way? Or is it like hashtag memes? I love memes, but it's beyond. It's like it goes beyond just memes. It goes beyond just your sign that you know at birth. So the sign that you know that you have, at birth, is called the sun sign. And Western astrology is not just about that sun sign. It's not just about the day that you were born. So a complete Western astrology birth chart, right, requires your birthday, your birth time to the minute, and your birth city to generate a blueprint of you. So personally for me, my story was that I actually had the wrong birth time for about 2 years until I found like the right birth time. And then some of things that changed in my birth chart that was very interesting and very like eye-opening as well. So if you've not seen a birth chart before, it looks like the thing on the left. So what happens is that using your birth time up to the minute, birthday, and birth location, we see where the planets are during the time of birth. So when you were born, and then a snapshot of like the whole solar system with with the earth as the center. So then we see where they are. And this snapshot represents the blueprint of your life. It tells you where you put focus on in your life. Because sometimes people are very cute. It's like they see the career zone and then nothing inside. Then they're very scared. Oh no, it doesn't mean that I won't have a career. But no, it's more about like in this lifetime, you are not focusing so much on your career. So we'll talk about that later as well. So don't generate a birth chart. It's very complicated. So a birth chart, I like to explain it as a sim setting. So if anyone has played the Sims before, it's kind of like you have a sim and then you say, okay, my sim is very active, my sim is ambitious, my sim is childish. And then when they are like reading books, when they're trying to like accumulate the skills, right, you realize that the more closer to their traits they are, the easier they are to rack up like the points. So for example, learning sports for a sporty sim, they would like very, very easy. While if you want a sporty sim to like study or even be creative, they might take a lot longer time. So our birth chart is just like our sim settings, and we along with the sims are happiest, and we rack up easily the experience points for the traits that we are built for. Doesn't mean that you cannot go for other traits, but it's more like do you want to make it like an easier path, or do you want to be like more this everything needs to be a hard work? So living your birth chart is your path for satisfaction and happiness. So that's kind of like the slogan of me when it comes to astrology. So today we're talking about turning weakness into career strength. And what we are actually going to be talking about is, I'm just going to repeat that. So how to identify this weakness in the birth chart, how this weakness can play out for different types of people, and how can this weakness be transformed into strength in our careers. So the thing that we're covering is this tiny, tiny symbol in the birth chart. So it looks like a key, like the key down there, and then there's like the K up there. So it's called Chiron. Okay, so I sit very properly so I can talk about Chiron. So what is this peculiar weakness represented by in the birth chart? So it's called Chiron. You can see the symbol right over there. If you have a birth chart, you can even like, oh, let me see where exactly this thing is. So surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, this asteroid is actually included in a lot of free birth chart generators. So when I was like first exploring Western astrology, I was like, this is not a planet. What is it? Turns out it's quite important. So Chiron is called the wounded healer. It's discovered in 1977. It's an asteroid or a comet whose orbit is between Saturn and Uranus. So what is interesting is that Saturn is about structures and traditions, while Uranus is more like chaos and rebellion. And for something to be in between it, it's kind of like it straddles both sides of things. So you can imagine the discipline plus like the chaos. How do you like combine them together? And as in most Western astrology, planets or signs or not houses, planets or signs, there's a mythology associated to it. And then, so what is interesting is that sometimes, right, the scientist comes up with mythology, or for example, Chiron itself is a name for mythology, and then they just like, okay, this thing is called Chiron. And the mythology actually kind of links to the planet as well. So for example, we talk about Pluto is about death, Pluto is about like destruction. Strangely, like how it appears in our birth chart is also similar to the story when it comes from. So for Chiron, what happened is that Chiron is the guy on the left, a centaur. He's half man, half horse. And I didn't write it down here. I'll talk about it. What happens was that Chiron's mother was a nymph. She's very beautiful. And then this guy, Saturn/Kronos, was like, oh my God, you're so pretty. And then I want to like take advantage of you, which is like what happens a lot in like Greek mythology, Roman mythology. Everyone just like, I want to rape you. And then so what happened was that his mother was like, I don't want to be together with you. And then she turned herself into a horse. And then what happened was that that stupid bastard changed himself into a horse as well, and then he just kind of like raped her. And then when she gave birth to Chiron, she was like, oh, why? So first of all, he is like a product of rape, which is like very, very sad already. And then what happens was also that when he was born, he was half human and half horse, and the mother was like, I don't want this. And then she just dumped him. So he was abandoned at birth already. So it's like, it's a very, very sad story. But I guess one of the good things was that Apollo took him up. Apollo and his twin Artemis took him up, and then they trained him. And then Apollo and Artemis, they also have their bad sides. But the good thing is that Chiron actually took on like some of the good parts of both of Apollo and Artemis. So he's kind, he's intelligent, and he was a great healer, astrologer, and oracle. So he was like fortune telling and stuff like that. But as in Greek tragedies, very, very sadly, he was accidentally poisoned by arrows he had given to Hercules or Heracles, if you're reading the Greek one. And then, very, very sad was that he gave him poison. So he gave like Hercules like the poison arrows for his quest. And what happened was that he was accidentally shot by the arrow. And then, despite being a great healer, he could not heal himself from that wound. And so even though he's like half mortal, right, he still feels the pain, and then he can never like heal from it. And also a very sad story. So, and then also, right, in other parts of the story, basically what happened was that he was like, okay, I'm already so much in pain. And then he told Prometheus. Prometheus is another character in Greek mythology. What happened was that he's a trickster, and then he stole fire from heavens to bring it to earth. And then Zeus/Jupiter was very angry, and then he forced him to be like changed to rocks, and then his liver being eaten by like seagulls and stuff like that. So Chiron said, you know what, I'm already like so much in pain. Let me just let you go from your pain. So he saved Prometheus from it. And in the end, Jupiter/Zeus released Chiron from his suffering by transforming him into constellation of Sagittarius. So, ta-da! So poor thing, right? Now he's like in the sky. So that is his story. So when you think about his story, right, it links very much to our own Chiron in our birth chart as well. Remember the part about like him being a great healer, but he's never able to heal himself. And then of course, like him also willing to sacrifice himself for other people. So that is like one of the main themes when it comes to Chiron. So what role does Chiron play in the birth chart? Chiron is associated with the emotional wounds we receive early on in our lives. And sometimes it's not even, the funny thing is that sometimes there isn't actually an incident in life that made you feel that way, but then it continues going on as well. So it represents a weakness or wound that no matter how much we try to heal or cure ourselves, it's always there. Ooh, sad. So you might think, then in that case, if Chiron is a wound, right, and it cannot be healed, how is it a strength? How am I carrying like a wound on my belly, and then how is that a strength? So Chiron can become a strength when we, instead of focusing on ourselves, we use it as a guidance on how you can help others heal in the same area. Because the theory is that you have experienced this kind of pain, and then throughout your lifetime you've been trying to heal yourself from it, but you cannot ever do that. So if you are, instead of focusing on, oh, you're so painful, you see someone else having the same pain, and then you try to help them with the knowledge you've gathered, then it's much better. Then you are able to like heal others. In the process of healing others, your pain kind of like lessens because you're not focusing so much on yourself. So on top of so the last part is actually part of my career profiling. On top of understanding your natural audience, Chiron can help you guide you on who you are able to help, and then of course like kind of like how you are able to help as well. So yeah, so in the chat, let me know. Natalie already shared just now. It's let me know where Chiron is in your birth chart. So what house or what sign it is. I will paste the link again so that everyone who doesn't have it can use it. Yeah, so Cancer. So we have Wei Chen, who's Cancer. Gemini. I'm also a Gemini Chiron. Okay. It's Leo. Ooh, Leo. Okay, then Celine, in that case, you just follow your chart, like then that would be better. Or it could be like it actually straddles both your charts. So then when you're listening, you can listen to both second and third and see whether it makes sense or not. Libra 11. Virgo. Okay, awesome. Okay, yay. So personally for me, I have a Chiron in Gemini. And that means, right, I just a sneak preview, because Tarot Bibic also has Gemini Chiron. For us is that there's like the learning side is always lacking. It's like no matter how much you try to learn, you always kind of feel like, oh, I don't feel so smart, or it can be even a pain point as well. So for example, my astrology teacher knows it's a pain point for me, and then sometimes she'll poke it. It's like, oh, never mind. So we'll talk about it more as well. So I think everyone has shared. We have a lot of because Chiron itself, like it takes up quite a lot of years when it's running. So it also means that sometimes hours are kind of like around the same place. So we have Taurus, Leo in the 10th house. Yes, 10th house important. Virgo, 12th house, Libra, 11th house, Cancer, 4th house, Gemini, 7th house. So yay. So okay, let's see. here's a quick snapshot, quick summary about how Chiron in the different elements is where you should teach and where you should heal. So very quickly, I don't really see, we have Leo. So we have, so if your Chiron is in Leo, which is part of the fire sign, you can teach and heal through inspiring visions or enthusiasm. So we'll talk more about it. So people with Chiron in the fire sign, it could be that when you were young, you want to be enthusiastic, you want to be like putting yourself out there. People are like, don't do that. And then just like, I cannot. So then later in life, what you can do is actually help people become that person. Because for you, maybe it could be like throughout your lifetime, it's like, I cannot shine. But then when you're able to help other people shine, that's where you can shine. For Earth people, it's developing practical and useful techniques, physical healing. For some, so for example, for Taurus, it's that you actually have like feelings of unworthiness, or even like material needs aren't being satisfied. So for air signs, which is like the Geminis, the Libras, it's a true communicating higher ideals or even mental healing. So think about like things related to the mind. So that's where we can help best. And for water signs, it's true nurturing, emotional healing, and taking on other sufferings. Yeah, so we have people with Libra, yeah, okay. We'll talk more about I shouldn't be looking at the chat. I will talk more about what happens when your Chiron and other planets have relationship with each other. That's also quite interesting, because not a lot of people have it, but surprisingly, it's like when I was trying to like talk to people, a lot of people have like relationships between the Chiron and their different signs, their different planets. So here you can take snapshots. Let me just try and move my stuff. Okay, so I'll be talking about all 12 signs. So if your sign isn't here yet, it's okay. You can just chill, relax a bit. So weakness and strengths of Chiron in the signs. We're going to start from Aries. I don't think anyone has it in Aries. So for someone with Chiron in Aries, kind of like not being able to be yourself or not being able to be direct. Sometimes like when you want to be direct, when you want to be like the true you, people are like, no, cannot. What you can help others with is that helping others put themselves forward, or helping others being more direct, being more even assertive as well. Then for Taurus, it's the wound comes in like not having enough or not feeling valued. What you can help other people with is like helping them feel valued, helping them in material ways. While for Gemini, raise hands, it's like feeling that you don't have enough knowledge or not allowed to speak, because Gemini is like the talking sign as well. So how you can help others is that sharing the information we gathered so others can learn, or even helping other people stand up and speak for themselves is something that is useful for you guys. So for Cancer, because it's a water sign, it's like sometimes it's like wanting to like emotionally care for people, or even just wanting that emotional care, you feel like you're not able to get that. So how you're able to help others is basically help them feel emotionally cared for, or even feeling protected, feeling that they're in a safe place. And then for Leos, not recognized for their talents, afraid to show up, not being appreciated. Well, Leo is like they're very dramatic, but with Chiron and Leo is that when you want to be dramatic, maybe you will like swat it down, or even that you feel that my talents are not enough to stand out. So then you just hide yourself. What you can do to help others is like supporting others' talents, helping put them in the limelight. For Virgo, the need to be perfect, or even like being critical of yourself is kind of, oh, you know what, when I do this, it must be perfect, and then it can never be perfect. But how you can do is like helping others, being of service to them, helping them improve their lives, or even like setting up structures so that people can follow. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at least they have something that can lean towards. And for Libra, feeling the need for people pleasing or relationships not working out, because Chiron is the wound and Libra is a very relationship oriented sign. It's a very harmony oriented sign. Sometimes like when you want that harmony, when you want that relationship, it doesn't really come to you. So how you can help others is through relationships, diplomacy, and also creating beauty. So Libra itself is also about beauty. Sometimes Chiron in Libra can be that I'm not beautiful enough, that's why I don't deserve standing out. So you can help others in that. And for Scorpio, power struggles for need for control, jealousy, obsession, even sex or power can be a Chiron in Scorpio thing. How you can help others is basically helping them transform, letting them know that the taboo, letting them know that dying is just a phase of regeneration. Don't take it as at word value, but it's more like they need to go through deep things, and then you can help them go through so that they can transform and rebirth. And of course, sexual healing could be one of it. Not suggesting anything lah. And then Chiron and Sagittarius is like, sometimes for them, Sagittarius like, I need the ultimate truth, and I think there is no ultimate truth, and then you can never get the ultimate truth, and then they always keep chasing after it. So how they can help with for other people is teaching whatever they learned, and then sharing the knowledge that you have gathered, or even like the enthusiasm that the Chiron in Sagittarius needs and wants. They can help others like grow that as well. For Capricorn, Chiron and Capricorn sometimes it's like obsessive ambition, fixated on social status and approval. So how you can help other people is helping them gain success or helping them lead. And for Aquarius, it's like for Aquarius, it's like the hurt in them is like being different and then not fitting in the community, or sometimes it's like they just want to like don't really emotionally connect with people so that they don't get hurt. And how they can help others is like showing others that being okay, being different is okay, and then helping others in their social circles as well. And the last one that we have is Pisces. Oh, Pisces, for Pisces, it's like feeling that suffering is never ending, because Chiron, imagine Chiron is already a hurt, like a hurt inside you, and then Pisces, what sometimes they do is that they absorb all the pain, they absorb all the like the, oh, you're supporting, and then let me help you, and they can take on so much, and then there's no way to heal that. So how can you actually heal is helping others heal. In that way you feel less hurt. So that is in the signs. And then in the houses also, like how it kind of shows up. So for example, if you have a Chiron in the first house, it could be that, so for example, Chiron in Gemini in the first house is like, oh, number one is like, okay, I am not good at speaking. And in the first house is already when you present yourself, there is always a hurt or a wound. And for people with, for example, Chiron Gemini in the first house is like you can help other people in their communication, helping other people like talk, communicate through themselves. So that's how you can help people. And when it comes to Chiron in the second house, it's more about the lack or hurt when it comes to money, possessions, worth, or values. And then the third house could be like siblings, communication, and learning. The fourth house, it's like for you, the family itself is like a wound. It's like, oh, no matter there's like a hurt in the family, that, or even trying to feel safe, it's difficult. But then how can you help others is basically helping others understand that they themselves are able to feel safe, maybe even providing not literally lah, providing a home for them, or even just a safe space for them to heal. And for Chiron in the fifth house, it could be that you feel wounded, you feel hurt when it comes to creative expression, children, sex for fun versus sex for intimacy. We'll talk about that. So Chiron in the fifth house, when it does link to sex, right, it could be that wanting sex just for the fun of it is very difficult for you guys. Or Chiron in the fifth house is like interest and passions. When you want to pursue it, there's always like difficulty in that, but you can always help other people achieve that as well. So Chiron in sixth house is health, body, routines, and work. Seventh house, tarot be big. It's sometimes it's like wounding in the partnerships or one-on-one relationships. It could even be that when you are in relationships, there's always a feeling like I can never be enough in a relationship, or even that my partner is always, there's a hurt in them, because the seventh house includes our partners as well. It's not just, the funny thing is that it's our birth chart, but it includes the people that we see as our partners, because we are kind of like projecting the pain onto them, then also putting, yeah. And then the eighth house is intimacy, sharing resources, transformations or taboo subjects. So intimacy kind of relates to the sex part, sex for intimacy versus sex for fun. So fifth house and eighth house is difference. And then the ninth house is beliefs, higher education, religion, and life philosophies. And the 10th house is career, reputation, relationships with authority figures. So people with the 10th house, which Hui Ming has, it could be that it could be in your career, you're actually helping people heal in their career as well. Or it could always be that you are quite attracted to authority figures who are always seem to be hurt somehow. And then the 11th house is fitting in with a community, friendships, or humanitarian pursuits. I had seen a birth chart where the person has a Chiron in Taurus in the 11th house. For them, it's like Taurus, we talked about like the material lack, right? So what happens is that in the community setting, they always see themselves as having material lack. Oh no, I have material lack. I am not as worthy as my community. So that is how it can come up. And then the 12th house is basically, it could be that the 12th house is pretty similar to Pisces. So the houses sometimes do relate to the signs. It's like, actually I should put more addiction, being alone, imagination, or even just suffering, because the 12th house is like suffering that is unseen. So if you have Chiron in the 12th house, it's kind of similar to Chiron in Pisces as well. Yeah. So for Hui Ming, right, because I don't think your Chiron is so what okay like, then I share something that I secretly look at other people's birth chart. For I had seen a person who calls themselves a healer, and their Chiron is very prominent in the 10th house. And then I thought that it was very, very interesting because for them, it's like I take on the reputation of a healer. For them, they had a timing where they were like questioning, should I call myself a healer or not? And then when I secretly look at the birth chart, like, damn, of course you're a healer because the Chiron in the 10th house. So I don't know what I mean, whether you are interested in like healing. When I do healing, it's like got quote marks like healing other people when it comes to your career lah. So let me know in the comments. Yeah. So so we talked about like Chiron as a career strength, right? Sometimes it can be that it's not exactly something that you actually earn money from, but when you have Chiron in these houses, it's a lot more prominent when it comes to using Chiron to make money or using Chiron to be like a career. Yeah. So Chiron in the 2nd house is that you are valued for healing the Chiron wound, or even that your wound is something that people value you for. So it could be that because you have worked on it so hard, so much, that people see that, hey, you know what, she has been through this, I am willing to pay her the money for that. And then in the 6th house, basically, is like every day what you'll be doing is like involved with healing the Chiron wound. And the 10th house is like your career / your reputation is actually like healing the Chiron wound, as well as we talked about the secret workshop that I read. So for the rest, right, healing Chiron wounds, it can be still part of your career / job, because I was looking at one of my clients' birth chart. What happens was that her Chiron was in the 3rd house, but it's very near the moon. So I found, and the moon was part of like how she makes money from. So because it was so near, I do see it as her, the nurturing side of things, plus Chiron healing people through nurturing. I forgot what sign it was, like maybe it was Cancer. So basically like emotional nurturing. Even though it wasn't in a career house, it wasn't in a work house, it was basically very much linked to it. So for the rest of you guys, you see, my Chiron is not in the 2nd, 6th, or 10th. Think about whether there are other ways that you are able to use that Chiron strength to help. Or even what might be interesting is that after listening to all these Chiron things, like, do you feel that you are enough to help people with it, or do you feel that honestly, right, you will never heal yourself from your Chiron wounds? Even myself, for example, my Chiron I mentioned just now is in Gemini. So Gemini is like, there's always a feeling of lack in knowledge. It's like, no matter how much I study, I will always be stupid. And how can you not feel stupid? Maybe it's just like, so for example, for me now, it's like sharing the information that I have learned. So like, I still feel stupid, but at least now other people can share the information as well. So it's kind of like less thinking about yourself and more thinking about how you can help other people. Then you are able to heal the Chiron wound. Okay, Chiron in relationship to other planets. So if Chiron is near a planet or has links, so for example, when you're looking at the birth chart, Chiron is like very near a planet, or Chiron, like when you look at the birth chart, it's like, oh, there are like either lines across the chart connecting Chiron to other planets, then the planet will be colored by the Chiron wound as well. And then how you express the planet's function is related to Chiron. I'm just like talking very astrology talk. So I don't know for you guys, if you are looking at your birth charts, if you do have your birth charts, do you see anything near Chiron, or do you see that your Chiron is like linked to other planets? Let me know in the chat. So how it links would be that if Audrey Hepburn's Chiron is right next to her sun. So basically, what's interesting for her is that her identity is always linked to like the wound. And of course, the sun also represents our father. And what happens was that her dad actually left the family very like when she was quite young, and then she always felt like that wounding. And then for her, it's probably like she wants to help other people feel not left out, and that's why she's also quite caring and like philanthropic as well. So wow, okay, yeah. So let me see. Okay. So I'll read some of the chat because I think it's very, very interesting. So the Tarot Big says, although her Chiron is in the 7th house, her degree is guidance, counseling, and disability studies. Oh, sign language. I really want to learn sign language. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so then that's very interesting because Chiron in the 7th house is also means that your your clients, because the seventh house also means our clients. So it's not just partner, it's just not just like business partner, not just like romantic partners, but also the people we serve, the people we kind of like help. So when you have Chiron in that house, it's like the people you help are like the wounded people. So I don't say like yeah, but then people, disability studies, yes, and people who need counseling guidance. And in Gemini, it's kind of maybe that talking is difficult for them. When you say sign language, perfect. Yeah, and then counseling also, like talking through things, it can be how it makes sense as well. So Celine says mine is near the moon, almost like next to each other. Then for you, what happened is that your emotions are, there's always a sense of like, even emotionally there's a wound as well. So it doesn't have to be in the Cancer sign there where you have the emotional wound. So I forgot, Celine, whether what sign it was in, but for people with the moon and Chiron so near, for you there's always like there's always still some like wounding when it comes to like emotional nurturing, emotional care, but depends on the sign lah. If your sign doesn't need the like koi, then not really. So Darylyn, Patel Square, Pluto. Wow. So describe. Let me know how it plays out in your how it plays on your Okay. Then Nat says Moon, Mars, and Libra are in Libra along with Chiron. So I don't know how near they are. So for people with Mars near Chiron, if they're very very near, then that's something. But if they're like kind of far away, then maybe not so much. It's like wanting to take action is difficult as well, because there's always a sense that if I take action, then I will be hurt. So it kind of links to the first house, kind of links to Aries as well, if you want to talk about that. So hey Clarissa, you watch the replay, Chiron the ninth house, okay. And then we have Wei Chen with Mercury and Venus. So maybe that thinking, communicating, or even showing value for you is difficult. And then there's always like, I want to show value, I want to talk about things. I cannot, because what if I do it and then people don't like it? What if I do it and then people think, yeah, you're not up to standards? Then so there's always that wound. But what can do is like helping others in that case. So yeah, so let me just scroll down a bit. Okay, so we have let's see, if I miss you out. Okay, so April, if it's not near any planets, good for you. But look at Chiron and see whether it links to other planets, or whether there are any lines connecting it to other planets. Because when it's very near, right, it means that they're all blended together. But when it is like across, maybe like across a different sign, like across a different planet here, it could also mean that that planet, the opposite of that planet is your Chiron. So for example, if your sun is opposite Chiron, it could be that you are always seeing other people as a wounded party. And it's always that other people are trying to like force a wound on you as well. That can happen sometimes. So Joe has Chiron trine Saturn and Mercury. So I heard that trines aren't that difficult. It's more like it's more comfortable. So for you, maybe that setting up structure or even like talking, having that wound actually helps you out. So I don't know how it plays out. Let me know. And then oh wow, tarot reading. Very good. Very, I don't want to say very good, very well, but more like wow, it plays out in the chart. So it's so interesting. I don't want to say interesting now. Oh. Okay, let me see. Okay, okay, shook. Okay, ding ding ding. Yes, okay. So I don't know. So Clarissa, ninth house is kind of like Sagittarius. So I talk about it since you're here. Chiron in ninth house basically it's like you can heal other people through like spreading of information as well. So think about it as a kind of like Sagittarius-y kind of, yeah. Because for you, it's like always chasing the knowledge. Where is the knowledge? I can never have enough knowledge. But when you gather all this knowledge, you can share with other people. Actually, ninth house is much more better at sharing than the Mercury / third house / Gemini. So, yay. So let's see. Okay, so I think everyone, I hope you guys read this. Or you can take a screenshot during the replay. Okay, so Joe asked a very good question. Is Chiron considered positive or negative planetary thing? Depends on how you use it, because if you are kind of like I'm a victim, yeah. So for me, like for example, if I have my Chiron in Gemini, then I can be like, yeah, of course lah, I'm always stupid. Then you know what? I'll always be stupid. Like how much I learn will always be stupid. Then if you are like stuck in that negative like victim spiral, you're just like, I will never get out of this. I will never get out of this. Everyone has it so much better. Then you will always be in that spiral. Then you will always be in the negative. But if you are able to so for example, my Chiron is in Gemini, I feel stupid, but you're able to like, hey, you know what, even though I feel stupid, I have gathered all this information, I will put it out there, and I will help people who want to learn as well. So in this process, yes, in all this process, I'm feeling like I stupid. But you are actually, when you are not so focused on yourself, you're focusing on how you can help other people, how other people can benefit. It lessens your the wounding and lessens the negative side of things as well. So funny thing with astrology is like the bad things in your astrology chart, as long when you are able to not like see how it like affects you so badly, but help you to like to help other people, it actually is like it doesn't hurt as bad. So okay. So April has a question. She's no, April says that it's not near any planets, but it's opposite Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. So it could be in that case, right? April, I don't know what house your Chiron is in. Let me know. I forgot. I'm gonna switch on the lights. I forgot to put on my lights. But yeah, so April, let me know what house your Chiron and your other planets are in, because it does matter as well. Because the way we see Chiron, whether it is like caused by other people or whether it comes from ourselves, also depends on what houses it falls in. Okay, so if anyone has any more, okay, so if your Chiron is in the third house, so for you it's like I say no birth chart, but then yeah, no birth chart, but so for people with Chiron in the third house, is like, oh, learning is something that's difficult. And then what happens is that, why is it difficult? Because opposite you there are people. So Saturn is like the stern teacher, Neptune is like the ditzy, and then it's just like, don't you don't need to be perfect, you can be like anyhow you want, you can be like idealistic. And also Uranus is like, let's fuck it, let's just like throw like flip table all over the place. All these influences are much bigger than your Chiron, and then it can be the reason why it triggers like, I am not enough. Because when it comes to the ninth house things, it's like the higher education or even the learning or even the beliefs, there are a lot of other forces like pressuring your Chiron as well. Yeah, so okay, so that's it. And then a recap. Wow, very fast, like alamak, I talk too fast. So turning weakness into career strength with astrology. We talked about Chiron, how to identify Chiron in the birth chart, and also how this plays out. And then of course, like how can you use this weakness to be transformed into strength in the career. So we had a very good example with Tarot Bibik, where actually her degree was in like helping other people, because it is in the seventh house. And then of course it is in Gemini, it's like the communication side. If you are able to do that, that'd be great. You talked about tarot, is it? Let me just scroll back in. I regret wearing socks. Yeah. Maybe like tarot and seventh house reverse. I don't know. But if you're able to, so for people with Chiron in the seventh house, it's like when you're able to heal other people, that's very specific. It's like healing other people, then that's where you can shine. So yeah. So for April, it's like when you're able to heal other people when it comes to communication, when it comes to the thoughts, when it comes to thinking, or even just like learning. Learning doesn't have to be like very high knowledge stuff, but it's more like and like just like small chunks of learning. That'll be great. Yeah. Okay. But low FOI, so Tarot Bibik, even though her degree was in counseling and guidance, she is a corporate secretary, because everyone knows corporate is where the money is. But of course, I think, yes, chasing the money is great, but I guess it's like in the long run, it's like whether it makes you happy or not. If in your role as a corporate secretary, you are able to help other people in one-on-one situation, then at least that energy can be like helped out as well. Because if you are a corporate secretary, you do have to deal with relationships. Relationship is the seventh house as well. So if you're able to use it in that way, that would be great. What happens is that when we are not able to, because in astrology, right, that there is no like one planet only has one meaning. There are multiple meanings, multiple ways you can play it out. So if at your current job, if at whatever, even like at the fun stuff, hobby stuff that you're doing now, you're able to exert that sort of energy, that'll be great. Yeah. So we talked about it just now. Yes. Okay, Chiron in the so Celine has a question. It's like, what does physical healing mean for Chiron in Taurus? So it depends on how much you like physical things, lah. So like literally like massage therapist can be one, but if you don't like massage therapist, because I know you have a lot of fire in your chart, it's more like the material healing is like maybe helping people like make money can be one thing, but also helping them feel that they are worthy. So it depends like the whole chart as well. Like if for example you like the only thing in earth like the physical, the touching things is in Chiron and Taurus, then maybe not so much relying on that, but relying on like you know what, Taurus is how people value themselves, how people see themselves as worthy. If you're able to use your fire to like enthusiasm to like be beyond your Chiron sign, beyond Chiron element, is like your whole birth chart comes into play. Using enthusiasm, helping people say like, hey, you know what? When you do this, you will feel valued. And then the Chiron in Taurus is like that I'm not valued, people don't like me because I cannot give the practical value of things. Then when you are able to help people become like I am worthy, I am valuable to other people, then yeah, that's how you can help yourself help other people. Yes. I think that's how it's phrased. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, Clarissa is good. Yeah, physiologist, but I think she does, she probably not yeah, sport lousy, too bad. Yeah. So yeah, so I think Celine has a lot of fire in her chart. So yes, yeah, fire. I think hers is more like rah enthusiastically like encouraging people, can be something like that. Yeah. So yes, so we mentioned just now that Chiron is just one tiny part of the career equation. In fact, right, I would say me discovering how Chiron is important in a career actually come like recently, because a lot of clients that I've been seeing recently, their Chiron like played quite an important role in their career profiling, versus in the past it's not so much. Sometimes in the past it's more like you just heard long, and then they don't really need to use it in the career as well. So Chiron is just one part of the career equation. It's used as an indicator of what or who you help best. Yeah, so maybe Celine don't want to do sports, but she can do it in other ways as well. So the whole birth chart, when you're looking at your whole birth chart, right? Here are some of the career indicators. So your second house, and the second house ruler is your value indicator. It means like how people will pay you money. It's like they see, wow, you know what? They see the value in you. That's why they're willing to open their wallets and give you money. And the sixth house is about your daily work, while the 10th house is about your career. So the difference between 6th house and 10th house is more like job title and then actually what you do every day. Because sometimes people have very nice job title, but every day they do like very, very weird things. So that's the difference. So as we mentioned just now, if your Chiron is any of these houses, it also means that the higher chance of you using it in your career would be there. Yeah, but so for example, the Tarot Bibic has it in 7th house, but if she did continue pursuing it, 7th house is also related to career, but not like directly related. Like we can talk about that in future classes. Okay. There is no one planet or sign pointing to one specific career, so don't. So sometimes people, it's like, I look at my birth chart, tell me what I'm good at, and then you're just like, you're good at all of these things, and then you're just like, what job? And then you're like, I'm not able to help you, because it really depends on the person as well to see what sort of job that they are leaning towards, versus the astrologer telling them, you are good at being a psychologist, go be a psychologist, because that's not how astrology works. If you want to have a clear picture of your work or career, we mentioned just now, we are looking at the 2nd house, 6th house, and the 10th house. And then, yeah, so so I'm actually running a workshop that I'm very, very excited about. It's January 16. It's January 16 at 8 p.m. It's called Building Your Career Profile with Astrology. It's basically, we are talking about building your career profile using all of these. I think I'll be adding one more because I think it's important as well. We're adding the natural audience part. So building your career profile with astrology workshop, because your astrology birth chart holds the blueprint of your life. It shows the path of least resistance to living a life that's truly your own. I'll come back to you, Wei Tiana. With the current unpredictable work environment, you might be wondering what your career or job should look like. In the workshop, you identify your career, your daily work, your valuable skills or talent. And then this training is for you if you're considering a mid-career switch, and then you kind of want like a framework of, you know what I'm good at, and then what might be suitable for you. And then if you kind of like have an idea, like, you know what, I want to do this, and you want affirmations, or you just want to like know, double confirm, even though like your heart really wants to go to this type of career. And of course, it's like if you're curious about applying astrology to your career or work, that it's also for you, the workshop. And then this training is not for you if you want to know the exact job that you should go for, because there's no planet for Bitcoin in the chart. I like to tell that. And then you expect a personal consultation during the training, or you're not willing to put in the work to apply the knowledge taught in training. So I'm excited for that. We'll talk about money later, but I am very, I would like to answer the question by Wei Chen about what if you have nothing in the 10th house. That's a good question, because I will bring you to one of the slides. I love Canva. So who likes Canva? Yes. So I will bring you to this slide. Basically, it's like your birth chart is a blueprint of what you put focus on in your life. So people without planets in the 10th house, it just means that the career for them, it's not so important. And then I have a story I want to tell. So for me, my 6th house is empty. My sixth house you think about is work, while 10th house is career. In my 10th house I have 2 planets, 6th house I have 0 things inside. And how it manifests in me, right, it's that at my real job I am the laziest person. I am like, I will do the bare minimum. I'm like, not even Pisces to say that, because for me it's just like, it's just a job, it's just a work. But my career, you can see me lah, just like posting Instagram stuff, like doing all of these things. It's like, for my career, I'm willing to put in the work, I'm willing to put in all the energy to like make it happen. But it doesn't mean that if you have nothing in your 10th house, then there's no story to talk about. Because when we are doing the workshop, what will happen is that we will also be talking about, let me just get the pen. We'll also be talking about the ruler of the 10th house. So that would describe like how your 10th house can play out as well. So if you're nothing in the 10th house, don't worry, because we are still able to tell how your 10th house might play out as well. So don't worry about that. So that is how we can tell when it comes to career. Because some people are very scared. It's like, no, doesn't mean no career. Like, for example, some people are like, I have nothing in the 7th house, I will never get married. And funny thing is that they're the ones getting married, while the people with like bad planets in the 7th house are the one not even dating. That's me lah. So it's just that you maybe not put so much focus on it lah. And then the problem with the current society is that they say you must focus on your career, you must focus on this, you must focus on that, when in reality maybe it's not something you want to focus on. You just F them. And then basically, I don't say F them, but it's more like it's your birth chart. It's how you want to live your life. Don't really listen to how other people say. Because the funny thing is that maybe you have nothing in the 10th house, but you have done a lot of things at 6th house. You are super busy every day as well at work. But then you just like, maybe you just aren't the type of person who just like, I want to like win an Oscar for everything I do. So that could be how it plays out as well. Like, yeah. So Nina, very cute. She did too many things in the 10th house. I want to laugh. That means that you are doing a lot of things in the 10th house as well. So okay, let me just go to the Q&A slide, because we have so many fun questions that I want to answer. Let me just wait. I'm so excited. I don't even know how to do things anymore. Okay, let's go to the last slide where we talk about the Q&As. I will make this big, and then we're gonna talk about Q&As. I will clear this first. Okay. So okay. Wait. Okay. Let me see. Let me just bring up the chat lah. So everyone, relax now. We can clear up the chat. Let me see. I should relax now. Let me bring up the chat. So if there's anything you have questions you want to talk about, let me know. Type it like big in capital letters so that I can see, because I'm gonna scroll back. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll back to see what questions people have, and then if you have any questions, let me know. Nothing in the 10th house. April says 6th house also empty. Lol, me too. Constance, high five. Yeah. So, but the funny thing is that we are able to laugh at ourselves already. We're just like, yeah, lol, we don't do it. So for us, the funny thing is that people might say, you are not dedicated. Why are you like that? Then for us, without it, it's a shrug, don't care. Yeah, but don't tell my boss lah, huh? Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Birth chart. Let me see. Birth chart. Wait. Yeah, so Darlene, she says that she likes how my 6th house is empty, but I don't really work. But my tarot career is so happening because I have planets in the 10th. Yeah. So if you don't, let me just find. Okay, good question, Joe. I will find a birth chart generator link for everyone so that everyone can use it as well. Birth chart, yeah, my Bitly link. Yes. So interestingly, no, Joe, if you can post you can post your sign in your house, and yeah. So Joe asked a very good question: is Chiron related more to emotional or social service type of job, social worker, medical professionals, healers, etc.? I would say that myself, I do not identify as a healer at all. I have zero healing. I have no intentions of healing anyone. So for me, it's more like let me the birth chart generator. Yeah, so the birth chart generator is here. So for me, it's more like I wouldn't say it has to be like it doesn't have to be healing any other people. It's more like helping other people, because honestly, if you are working right, as long as you are able to help other people in whatever way. So for example, if you have Chiron and Aquarius, maybe you're super techy, then you're able to, but then you always feel that you are not techy enough. But if you have Chiron and Aquarius, you can help people with the tech stuff. That can be something that how your Chiron can play out as well. So yeah, so Joe, good question, but for me it's like I cannot do the emotional stuff. I can never. My Chiron is in Gemini in the third house. I can never. Emotional healing is not for me lah. So it depends on the sign of your Chiron. It depends on where the house it is. For people with the Chirons more in the water signs, it can be that you want the emotional connection with other people, while for the other signs, so for example air signs, it's more like intellectually, here's how I can help you. Fire signs is like, here's like enthusiasm, I am able to help you because in all my life I had felt that I'm not able to like be my full enthusiastic self. That's why I have found many ways to cope with it. That's why I'm here to be able to help you with. And for the earth people, it's like growing up, maybe like the feeling of unworthiness, or even feeling like I don't have enough of the material things, but then you found some ways to work through it, and then you're able to help other people with that. Yeah, so if you are curious about your birth chart, you can go to that link. It's a Bitly link. I think you need to copy it and paste it. Yeah, so if anyone has any more questions, let me know. I'm very excited to talk about Chiron. Or if you have any Chiron stories, let me know. And next time I can share them if you're okay with sharing them. So Tarot Bibik has a wonderful sharing session already where the Chiron in the seventh house does relate to the degree that you're working with, and then does relate to your partner as well. So everyone else, so for example, Darylyn with your Chiron square Pluto. So a square, I'm sorry if I'm like too astrology. Square, basically what happens in, it's like a right angle triangle. It's so wow, Darylyn, does it mean that for you power and Chiron comes together? But let me know. I don't know. Let me know. I'm really curious to know as well. Yeah, Joe, I know that your Chiron trines the stuff, but I forgot whether you shared like stuff as well. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Let me just come back up and look at the chat. If anyone has any more things you want to talk about, let me know. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the usernames. Yeah, but if anyone has Chiron stories to share, that would be really fun as well. Opposite, yeah, opposite. Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay. Is everyone just staring at me while I stare at you as well? But yeah, let me know if it is. Then we can kind of wrap up as well. So last questions, let me know. If not, right, actually this recording will be available for 48 hours. I will take it down, I will upload it, and you can always come back, look at it, and then if you have any more stories, you can share as well. And then like in the future, when I run similar one, or even when I'm like sharing examples elsewhere, I'm able to share the story as well. So yeah, let me know while I drink some water. Yeah. So thank you, Felicia. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Wei Ming. Thanks, Claire. I think yeah, almost ending lah. Okay lah. Thank you, everyone. But if there's any like yeah, bye bye. If anyone wants to stay to chit chat until 6, I'll be here lah. Yeah. Oh my god, yes, there will be everything is so accurate. Thank you, Celine, for coming. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. So if you have anything you want to oh my god, did I record it? I think I did lah. If not, I will slapped myself. Yes. I think yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop recording now. So if anyone wants to chit chat,